Welcome to Private Matters. I am Max van Praag. On Private Matters we talk about love, sex and intimacy. This platform is a force for healthy, intimate relationships around the world. Everyone can achieve bliss in their own way, regardless of their history. Today's show is about sexual healing, and we have a second-time guest, very beloved Private Matters guest, Jen and Ben Rody, sexual healers. Welcome again for the second time. It's so great to have you. You do hands-on sexual healing work on women. As a couple, you work together on women. You do G-spot massage. Do I say it right?
Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah, we do. Well, I'm sure you can say it better than we can at this point. But yeah, so what we do is we work with the state of 30 minutes of G-spot orgasm to clear out whatever blocks a woman has, whatever's coming up for her that's keeping her from bringing in her relationship or deepening her relationship with her man.
Deepening her marriage, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bring more authenticity in her life, more stepping fully into her life purpose.
More vulnerability, allowing herself to be seen and heard, and really allowing herself to be in her divine feminine on the planet. I think the planet is just calling for women to be in their divine feminine, and also for the women in their divine feminine to allow for the men to be in their divine masculine. So it's a lot of the role that we're taking. So our business is called Explosive Sexual Healing because we do work with 30 minutes of G-spot orgasm with ejaculation, which every woman is capable of.
But the sessions are much longer than 30 minutes.
Much longer.
Yeah.
They are 3 to 4 hour sessions, and that's a very important
But you're saying
piece.
that for 30 minutes you bring people to an orgasm? I mean,
so that's the end result. The goal is 30 minutes of G-spot orgasm. The real magic comes in clearing whatever is in the way of her actually reaching that. Every woman's capable of it, and every woman thinks she's not capable of it. So it's just clearing the blocks that are keeping her from receiving more pleasure, which translates to
more pleasure,
love,
more
joy, abundance, more everything.
Yes.
And we want to bring purpose, prosperity, and partnership to the planet. And this is why we want to have this open conversation about it in public. We don't want it to be a private matter.
Sure.
We want this to be a public matter.
Yes.
Take it to the world.
Yes, because this is not new. This is not something that has never existed, but it's something that you're meant to bring into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this work has been done for thousands and thousands of years, and we're doing it really for the planet, for the mainstream, kind of modernizing it. And yes, the women are fully naked on the table. That's one of the first questions I always get asked. So I want to answer that. Yes. You are completely naked.
They keep their clothes on for the first session, and just so they know exactly what's going on. We move a lot in the first session, clear a lot in the first session, then they're ready for the full session.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about orgasm. This isn't just about getting off. And the women that actually make it in here know that. It's not just about 30 minutes of G-spot orgasm. This is hard work, because what it actually is we use the orgasm and the sexual self as a diving board to go the deepest possible. You cannot go any deeper than by accessing the sexual shame that is just rampant in our society. And I mean, this is everything. We work with really powerful women. Most of the women we work with, a lot of these women are, they're already bringing in 7 figures. Most of them are bringing in 6 figures, and everybody is already doing something. Whether she's actually there or not, she wants to be there. She's set for, she has a purpose. She has a bigger purpose. And she's like, I know there's something inside of me that needs to come out, and for whatever reason it's not coming out. Let's find that block.
And it opens up her whole being. Whatever the trauma is, it opens up the whole being.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of trauma. We say there's trauma with a capital T and trauma with a small t. And so, anywhere from, we've worked with women, with sexual abuse, physical abuse. So it's not even necessarily sexual trauma. And
just women who were shut down for no major reason. Or small disappointments,
exactly, and that's what I want to go into too. So those are the big T's, what I just went into. But the small T's are the being shamed, Christianity or whatever, religion or teachers or masturbating or anytime that we deny this part of our body. it affects everything. And you know what I've noticed in our culture is that a couple different things. We sell through sex and we shame through sex simultaneously, and that creates this polarity. But it takes sexuality out of the norm and out of the natural and out of we're born through sex. We need to eat, we need to sleep, we need sex, right? It creates this very weird relationship with sexuality. And also, you know, with children, we don't talk to children about sex. Right. I was a preschool teacher for 10 years. We don't talk to children about sex. So children are very sexual beings. They're made from sex. They come out of our vaginas. Yeah. And when they ask, Mommy, where did I come from? Yeah. Many parents are telling them, you know, you come from the stork, or you came from my tummy, or whatever. And, you know, not that we need to explain to our 3-year-olds in detail because they're not going to understand. But yes, when Bella asks me at 2 or whatever where she came from, I'm going to tell her she came out of my vagina because that's where she came from. And God damn it, she remembers that. So when we deny our sexuality to our children and then we don't talk to them about it till they're 12 or 13 or 16 or whatever, you know, they've already acquired all of this shame in their bodies, and that is a trauma as well. And that's a big part of what we're clearing.
Yeah, and that trauma can create I'm not going to let myself orgasm, or it creates pain, physical pain in the body.
It does create physical pain in the body.
It can create the body shutting itself down so that it can't experience pleasure because it wants to be a good son, a good daughter, a good person. So that's the shit that has to go. Has to go.
Good.
And, you know, a lot of women have come to me and said, oh, well, you know, it was probably easy for you or whatever. And I can't emphasize enough that this work has been incredibly hard for me. It's been incredibly hard.
That's why you're with him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And so, you know, when I first met him, I had never experienced a G-spot orgasm. I had heard about it. It was kind of like the mythical unicorn. I didn't really think it existed. I didn't think I was capable of ejaculating. And then, you know, when I met him and we got married, you know, I was ejaculating like crazy. I mean, buckets, like buckets, buckets, buckets. And it would come very easily, but I was completely disconnected from my body. I wasn't feeling it. So I would have this crazy G-spot orgasm, and then I would just be like, whoop, on to the next thing, you know? And I didn't realize at the time how disconnected I was from my lower chakras. I had really created this energetic disconnect because of my sexual abuse, because of my trauma, that it was very functional too. I can orgasm easily, and you know, I can be up here, but I was disconnected. And so what started to happen when I actually started to connect my upper and lower chakras, and I actually started to becoming more grounded in my sexuality and really in my purpose, I started experiencing fear and pain, and I mean, I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. I didn't want to go there. My shit started coming up. My intimacy stuff was coming up with him. I remember us going through a period of time where I couldn't cuddle. I couldn't cuddle. I didn't want to be close. He would breathe on me, and I would feel nauseous. I would literally get nauseous, and it had nothing to do with him, and it had everything to do with me. But yeah, this work goes deep, and really for me it was about, I wasn't aware of how afraid I was to actually let someone in and go deep. And so I do want to communicate to all the women out there that like this work has not been easy for me either. And at the same time, every woman can achieve this. Every woman can do this. Your body is capable of it.
Have you become different? Have you become more affectionate?
Oh my God!
Are you more affectionate, more cuddly? After?
Good question. I'm not the same woman I was when we met. I mean, I'm not the same person. My voice is not the same voice. I remember I went through a week where I had lost my voice and I wasn't even sick. I lost my voice. I couldn't speak. And when my voice came back in, it was so much deeper and I was so much more dropped in. I was more dropped into my body. My sensitivity, my intuition came in way deeper.
Great.
And as far as intimacy, I love cuddling him now, and I want to be close, and I want to touch, and I want to look him in the eyes, and I want to go deep. But I had so much fear around that. I couldn't even look him in the eyes when we were first having sex. I couldn't even make eye contact. That's how much fear I had. I mean, I couldn't make eye contact with you. So, I mean, night and day, I'm such a different person, you know, and every day is a process, and there's no end, and there's no completion point. We're constantly doing our work, but yeah, I am night and day a different person.
Yeah, I've never had anybody go so deep with me. She's constantly asking, how do we go deeper? How do we go even deeper? How can we go deeper? and I've never felt so loved in my life or so much love.
That's
for
why
anyone
you're
like
with her.
that.
Yeah.
That's why she's the only one I could ever be with. We're excited to actually talk about the last year, and I mean the first video was huge. A lot of people saw that, and you know
We had no idea how many people were going to see that video and how many people were going to contact us from all over the world. The impact that it was going to have.
And we went through a lot of shit in the last year.
Oh yeah.
And we were going through a lot of shit at that time. And so it's great being out on the other side, and you know, now we can go back and talk about it and talk about our experiences and talk about all the stuff we learned from it. And I mean, people learn from the shit, you know?
Yeah.
People love hearing
Sure.
the vulnerable stuff, the stuff that people don't talk about. So we want to talk about
We want to talk about the shit.
the hard
Because
stuff.
for people who haven't seen the other video, you were on the show 15 months ago. But what has happened? In the last...
Quite a bit. So
A lot.
you want to talk about where we were at the time of the show?
Where
We looked like we had our shit together.
we didn't have our shit together.
We had
Yeah.
our purpose together. You know, when we come together for one purpose, working with a client, I mean, I am in love with her every time we work a client. You know, the most important part of a session is after the session, when we leave the client on the table, covered up, you know, reflecting, integrating, and we leave the room and we reconnect and we hug and we hold each other and look each other in the eyes. And I fall in love with her more each time. I mean, her gifts are incredible. Like just the things that comes out of her mouth comes through her. And I mean, she is just the most amazing. I couldn't imagine a better partner to do this with me. I mean, she is the exact complement to all the stuff that I just don't have. So we fall more in love. After
So your
the session.
relationship is at a very different place than
Very different
a year
place.
and 3 months ago.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, at that point we were screaming, we were yelling. We had the police called at us at one point. I mean, it was, when I say it was bad, it was nasty. It was really nasty. You know,
Thanks for that honesty.
Yeah. I really want to be vulnerable with it, because I think that a lot of people come into this and they look at, oh, they're in their honeymoon period and, you know, this and they, you know, whatever. And, you know, we work with so many couples coaching them. And we wouldn't, what I've really gotten to is that we wouldn't be able to do this work with couples, you know, whether some of the couples that we work with have been married 20, 30, 40 years, it doesn't matter, you know, whatever, 10 years, it doesn't matter. But we wouldn't be able to do this work if we hadn't gone through the shit. And we did not have a honeymoon period. We did not have, it didn't exist.
Straight to the shit.
We went straight to
Yeah,
the
because
shit.
you met and you got married within a month and you moved in and started everything.
And started tearing each other apart, exactly.
Yeah, and I hadn't had a committed relationship for probably 6 years.
Right.
And I had like I was so messed up after that relationship that I said, it's not for me. I will never let myself love again that fully.
Yeah, there was a lot of pain that I think you weren't even really aware of that you were dealing with.
Yeah,
from
and it
that.
all came out when I committed myself fully to her, and she moved in. Before I knew her, we quit our jobs, we're working together, living together, and then it was like, what the hell did I just do? It was like, what did I just commit to? You know, her stuff's coming up, my stuff's coming up, and there's nowhere for me to run. Whereas before, if my stuff started coming up, I'd run away.
Sure.
It was easy.
Sure.
You know, it was easy seeing several women at a time because I could just walk away.
Sure.
And, you know.
And I was good at leaving too. I was surprised because I tend to be the commitment person, kind of, you know, or I thought I was at the time. I mean, I was committed relationships, but really, I mean, when stuff started coming up, I wanted to run too. So it's very interesting, you know, just observing that in myself because I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah.
You know, when it started getting hard and it started getting deep and vulnerable, I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, scary.
Yeah.
Going deep is scary. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations for being still here, and how has your work developed? Because this is not the same picture. You guys are very successful. You have people flying in from all over the world now. People everywhere know about you in different communities, and your names are out there, and you're very public about your work, which is also very courageous. It's very courageous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the things that we really realized was we need to go first, right?
Yeah.
If we want to heal somebody's sexual shame, we have to heal ours first. You know, we can only heal somebody's sexual shame
To the extent
that ours is healed. And so at the time, you know, when we hadn't told our parents what we were doing, we hadn't, you know, it was horrible.
Yeah, the antidote to shame is exposure. So, and it was really difficult telling our families and telling some of our close friends that had known us a long time. And, you know, I grew up very Catholic, he grew up very Christian. That's how we were raised. And, you know.
Yeah, so when we, you know, so finally we said, okay, we need to do the thing that scares us the most. And that's what we have our clients do is, what scares you the most? Do that. You know, because that's where we grow. We don't grow in staying comfortable.
Has the sessions changed since in the last year? How you work?
I feel like they've evolved. I mean, I think in essence, what we're doing is the same. The energy is the same. We're you know, something is moving through us, and we're getting out of the way. You know, one of the things that we've really been noticing, I would say, in the past few months is, you know, we'll do a meditation before each session. And you know, for a long time our meditation was like, you know, I want this to happen and this to happen and this is the intention, and that's all beautiful and good. But lately our meditation has just been, please let us get out of the way. Like, please just let us get out of the way, because this work, it's not even ours, and it's not even us. It's an energy that's moving through us, and I feel like the more that we step into that, and the more awareness that we have around that, the more beauty that kind of flows through. So I think that that's been a key piece.
Yeah, the work has really nothing to do with us, right? I mean, if it was about us, we wouldn't even be here right now.
Yeah.
If this was about us, our insecurities would have come up. We would have quit a long time ago. But because it was of something much larger, we had to keep going, even when our tiny little human brains told us, you can't talk about this stuff. What the fuck do you think you are talking about this stuff? And, you know, anybody that has a bigger purpose, it is about the purpose, and it's not about them. And so what we realize is the more we get out of the way, the more we get our egos out of the way, the more that our clients get out of the session.
Yeah, you even said at some point, we were told to do this.
Yeah.
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 Who told you?
I mean, I feel like it wasn't even a choice in a lot of ways. I mean, I think we do always have a choice, you know, but when Ben and I came together, I knew meeting him because he was my twin flame. I knew that I'd done all this research, and I'd actually done the research not because I knew my twin flame was coming in necessarily. I wasn't 100% positive, but I was doing this for friends of mine. And when I was doing the research, I knew that the key component of a twin flame relationship was that they were in service to humanity, and that their work had to fit together. And so, you know, when we met, I had my piece, he had his piece, and it was just, I knew that we needed to bring them together. You know, it was very intuitive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It freaked her out when she figured out what my piece was.
It did. I was like, man, that's the piece. And it made so much sense because of my experience, you know, being sexually abused as a child for so long, thinking that I had dealt with it. And really I had as much as I was able to. But the last piece was that I had all this stuff in my body that I couldn't get out.
Yeah, she did all the Reiki, she did all the energy work, the talk therapy.
Absolutely.
Everything else, and this was the last piece, and it's the scariest piece.
It's the scariest piece, yeah. It's the nastiest piece.
And we do 4-hour sessions, 3-hour sessions or 4-hour sessions, and so we were trying to fit in 2 sessions a day to accommodate everyone. And so in this year, in 2014, we're moving into a model of training. And so we've had people flying from all over the world to do the training, to learn explosive sexual healing, and we have people...
You mean the training has already started?
Yeah,
so
we've been doing
one-on-one trainings.
One-on-one.
We've done tons of one-on-one trainings. And every conversation we have with people, stuff shifts. Just by being in the conversation, of being okay with your sexuality, we're creating a morphogenic field of it's okay to be powerful, it's okay to make money, it's okay to be comfortable in your sexuality and have the relationship that you're looking for. And so as we have those conversations, people are shifting one by one. And just, I mean, I got so much feedback from the last video, people that would just watch it again and again and again and again. And just, you know, so we want to do this on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And we have, we're in talks with a TV show right now about having a TV show. And that's the kind of platform that we need to get this message out. We need to make this mainstream, right? We want to make this something that's just normal for people, Like, you know, they want to go down the street and you know,
it's time for me to see my hypnotherapist, or it's time for me to see my talk therapist, or
time
whatever.
to go to yoga. I'm going down the street to go see my sexual healer.
And I can't tell you how many people we've spoken with, you know, people in England calling, where can I get a practitioner in my area? And, you know, we don't have that yet. So that's really what we're wanting, is to have this and have the practitioners that we train and we certify and put them on our website, where people can come to the website and they can find a practitioner in their area and they can get this work done, and to make it really accessible for everyone, because the whole planet needs this.
Yeah, we want to connect the people that need it with the people that want to do it.
Yes.
And it's, you know, the trainings are not just for people that want to do the work. They're for people that want to come in, be exposed to the conversation in public. You know, we'll be doing it in our home. You know, probably maximum 40, 50, 60 people. But we want to have the open conversation. We want couples to come together. We have most of the people that are coming right now are actually couples that are coming to smooth out things in their relationship, take their relationship to the next level. You know, when the woman finds out what is possible, when she just lets go of anything that's blocking that full orgasmic potential.
Yeah, when she can surrender into that.
She's wide open, and what he wants is for her to surrender into that, so that he can give and so that she can receive, and then he learns how to stand in that place of being able to give and being able to hold space for her divine feminine when it comes out and scares the shit out of him.
Sure. The husband is there too.
Yeah. It's beautiful work. Those are our favorite.
The first training that we do is just it's just the opening. It's the theory. It's the why this works. It's the philosophy. It's the transformation. And then the second piece is the actual hands-on, the naked body. So nobody actually gets naked in the first one. We'll be doing some clothed sessions,
which actually move a lot of energy, and I think
sometimes more energy than full sessions.
I think the first one we're actually going to be doing some type of certification. We're kind of ironing out what that would look like. But what we found is that we also do sessions that are fully clothed, but they're set up in the same framework and the same manner. It's really the framework that we're putting it in, and the collapsing of the anchor. And it works very well with...
What does that mean?
Thank you. Ben, go into that.
So in neurolinguistics programming, there's something called an anchor. An anchor is a physiological response attached to a stimulus, either a word, or it could be a post-hypnotic suggestion in hypnosis, or a smell. Like if you ever smell an ex-lover's perfume, and you remember them, you go right back there. That's an anchor. That perfume, that smell is anchored to your past. And so we all have something anchored to our body in regards to sexuality. So we're told not to masturbate. We're anchored to shame, right? If they've had any kind of sexual abuse or molestation, it's anchored to guilt, shame, dissociation. And so at any time their lover comes to give them love, they dissociate. It's just an anchor. It's just pattern. It's just the way the brain patterns itself. So it's
all coping mechanism.
It's all keeping it safe.
Yes.
And so we allow that stuff to come up for the first part of the session, and then in neurolinguistics programming, they call it a collapse anchor, where they take that anchor, they bring it up, and they collapse it with a better feeling. So the way we collapse it is with orgasm, with the energy of orgasm, the highest vibration possible.
Basically, the framework of the first part of the session is kind of allowing the stuff to come up. And obviously, when the clothes are off, more stuff comes up and we go deeper. But we also do sessions with the clothes on, and a lot of stuff will come up in those sessions with the way, the format that we're using.
Touching or no touching?
And touching. So yeah, still body massage and still the energy work. So very similar, but with the clothes on. So there's a little more safety. And then when we go into that second part of the session, we're collapsing that anchor with pleasure. So that pleasure may or may not lead into orgasm. And actually, even with the long sessions, this is such a big piece that people don't always understand, is like, yes, we have this goal of 30 minutes of G-spot orgasm with ejaculation, and that is wonderful, and it is a wonderful tool that works well. But really, this is just collapsing it with pleasure and getting us in this higher vibration and seeing what comes up in the way of really allowing and receiving in that pleasure into our bodies.
Yeah, so there's often a lot of pressure that comes up with, oh my God, I need to orgasm. And so, we kind of place that pressure there just to see what comes up, to see if anything at all comes up. And so the magic isn't actually from the orgasm, there's a lot once you get there. And the magic really is clearing the stuff on the way to the orgasm.
Absolutely, and then collapsing it with that good feeling, that high vibration, that pleasurable feeling.
Yeah, and so once she has a new experience of her body being touched in a way that is just divine and comfortable and safe and perfect and healthy, when she has that new experience, it literally rewires her entire experience of sensuality.
Yeah.
It erases the whole past. It gives peace. It gives healing and peace.
Yeah, in a way that just talking about it couldn't possibly do. Because I mean, for people to come in to see us, it's because they know there's something there. They know it. They can feel it on a body level. There's something that needs to clear.
Yeah.
So they already have all the knowledge in the head. They've already done all the work. They've taken all the courses. They've done all the trainings. And they're like, what is the last piece? Why am I still stuck? And so they come in and it comes out immediately.
Yeah.
So the second part is a woman that gets really close to orgasm and then immediately shuts herself down.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So that voice will get louder and louder the more pleasure she receives, and the brain starts to do this thing where it starts to freak out and thinks, I'm gonna die. If I go over the edge, I'm gonna die. And what that is the brain, and we talked about this in the last one, that the last episode, when the female brain goes into orgasm, over 80 areas of her brain light up, and other areas completely shut down. The areas that shut down are the areas that have to do with fear and anxiety, the areas that have to do with what she thinks about herself, what other people think about her. The vigilance centers in the brain shut down, the part of her that's on guard. And so she goes into a complete state of trance, and we use that trance state to throw in affirmations and get in those post-hypnotic suggestions to make her feel amazing. So anyway, so what's going on is when her brain goes into that state, it literally loses control. The female brain loses control in orgasm. And so for a woman that needs to have control and needs to maintain control over everything, to allow herself to lose that control, it's an ego death. It feels like she's going to die. And actually, the word for orgasm in France means little death.
Yes.
She literally is going to die.
Yes.
The she that she knows is going to die.
Yeah, and what we found is that many of our clients, when they have that kind of a breakdown, which will eventually lead into a breakthrough, they're actually experiencing really similar a grieving process to the 7 stages of grieving. I mean, I've actually had our clients, review the 7 stages of grieving because they're actually mourning a loss of their old selves, and they actually need to mourn that loss and grieve that process and go through the anger and the denial and all of it, and to move into the celebration of the birth of the new them.
And that's exactly what we did for each other when we met, and we tore each other apart.
We killed each other.
We killed each other's egos.
We did.
All the shit that I had, she tore it apart. And all the shit that she had, we tore it apart. And we came out as new people with new shit, but new people nevertheless. There's always a next level on the spiral, right?
Sure.
It never ends. And the trick is knowing you're perfect now and still reaching for more. I want more, not because I think I'm broken. I want to be better, not because I think I'm broken, but because I want more. There's always more. There's always the next level. And so what we always talk about is the importance of taking responsibility for any situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing, and thank you for your transparency and for doing all this service, giving so much to the world, to everyone basically, not only to your clients. And I think women are privileged to be able to be your clients.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're privileged to do this work. We feel really privileged to do this
We're
work.
meeting the most amazing people. Everyone that walks through our doors are just like our new best friends. Our clients threw our baby shower. And we had 20 clients and my mom and my aunt.
And I said, I don't want a baby shower. And I did actually want a baby shower, I realize now. But yeah, they threw it. I mean, they're just wonderful women. Wonderful, wonderful women. Yeah.
That's great.
We're blessed.
So good luck with everything that's going forward, the training and seeing more clients and arranging your lives in a way that you have balance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Balance is important.
Balance is key.
It's our next hurdle.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. This is the end of the episode, Private Matters, where we talk about love, sex, and intimacy. Everyone can achieve bliss in their own unique way. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.